Well, today I'm going to be making a box. These are this right here is pecan wood, and special features on this box. It's solid wood. It's got finger joints or box joints on the corners, and what really makes it kind of stand out is that the sides flare out. I don't know if you can see it, but the sides actually flare out, and they also flare on the inside. I don't know if you can see that, but this is one I built. I built several for Christmas presents, and this is one of the rejects that I didn't give as a Christmas present because I didn't. You ever notice you never have enough clamps? Well, I got my stock glued up, and what I've done is I've actually taken the sides of the box, the short ends of the box, and nail them together or use brads to stick them. I haven't sanded or planed these. You can see here that I put a layup mark on all the pieces that are exactly 8 degrees. And I could use one of my mini jigs over there, or I could use my table saw skid there to cut those. I could cut them any number of ways. I've even cut them freehand on the table saw. But today I'm going to cut those angles using my large bandsaw over there. I have a massive bandsaw over there with huge blades. I have a smaller bandsaw here that I can use for smaller things, and then I have a scroll saw over there. Well, that was me cutting box joints with my box joint jig. It's just a standard box joint jig with a half-inch indexer right here. That's certainly true when your piece that you're working with is angled. So it's critical that those things be perfect, or with those angled cuts. See, with those angled cuts, there's no room for error. They have to slide exactly into place. They have to slide exactly into place, or there's no going back. So my setup, I'm satisfied with my setup. So the next deal will be to cut the joints for that's the bottom. There's the side, the long side and the short side. Okay, I got the finger joints or the box joints on that angled piece, right on the angled piece, and I got it dry fitted. You can see where that comes into play. What we see here on the on this layup is this part right here of the box. See it on the other side. I've still got to add another strip of wood that'll go right in here. You can see that. And that'll be dovetailed also, and that will give the illusion, you can see on the prototype, it will give the illusion that those box joints are going around the corner. And you could do a box joint that way, but you would have to set double the depth, and I don't know. Anything's possible, but I don't know how you do that. Okay, the next thing I have to do is I got the bottom in place. I use a hardwood bottom. I mean a solid wood bottom, just like in this one. But you notice in this one, the hardwood bottom sits in there flat. In this one, you can see that gap right along there. That's because the sides are sitting at 8 degrees and the bottom's at 90. So I have to put a 6 degree or a 8 degree cut rip on those bottom pieces, which means that I have to tear down this whole setup here that I painfully set up. I have to completely tear that down and put a regular blade in there to rip those bottoms, and then I have to reset up everything to dovetail, to put box joints in this upper strip. So no rest for the wicked. So the next project will be to put those 8 degrees on the bottom edges of that new box. Glued up. I've got the clamps on it to kind of hold the joints together, to make sure there's no gaps, and also to make sure that it is square. The next operation, I need to put the bottom in, and because before I put the other side boards on, I have to have the bottom in place, and I have to have these. I have to have the box joints sanded down flush, so that the side boards will fit on. So the next operation is to let this glue dry, put the bottom on, and sand off the joints. Well, I got the core put together, all the box joints. You can kind of see where we're going with this. You can see how that the end of that box kind of flares out. Well, this part right here, this top part where it flares up, that is this board right here. So that when I carve that down, or I shape that down using various tools, this box here will, with the angled but straight sides, will get that characteristic curve. So on the construction, I'll pull this one of these things off here. They'll come off. They're pretty tight. You can see that is a box joint all in itself. So you can see the box joints go all the way up this inner core, and then there's additional box joints on this outer piece of wood here. So that will be bonded to the outside of the box, and when I'm finished, you can see this. You can't even tell that upper piece right there was a different piece of wood, because it's molded. I mean, it's shaped and feathered right into the other piece. Same with the inside. You can see how this inside slopes out. That'll be the same thing here. This edge, this inner piece right here, will be angled outward, and this inner part here will be angled in. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this thing up, and this will be the end of part one. I'm going to split this thing into part two, into two parts, because really this whole project is really two different projects. One is building this core with the slanting box joints, and then the real construction happens when I shape the wood into this curved design. So that will be the part two of this video. So I'll see you in part two.